Do you believe the Earth is flat?
I know the Earth is flat.
Seriously?
Uh,
Today I'm going to explain to you why the flat earth theory makes relatively no sense in the concept of the laws of physics, geometry, as well as science and historical discovery. So, according to the laws of physics, gravitational pull on a disk-shaped planet would have increasing gravitational pull the closer we would get to the edges of a disk-shaped planet. So imagine walking up a very, very steep hill, and the closer you get to that steep hill, that gravitational pull will get stronger because it is skewed. So once you would get to the edge of the Earth, you wouldn't fall off, you would actually be on a flat plane, which is what the flat earthers refer to as the ice wall. Um, Very historically inaccurate, obviously, as you can travel anywhere on the earth and you will experience the same level of gravity. That is the law of gravity. Historically, we have traditionally thought the earth was flat. This is due to just because from observation from where you're sitting on a very, very large globe, the earth appears flat. Um, but Greek philosophers have discovered just by trial and error, observing shadows in the sun, as well as being able to measure the distance between one object and another to prove that the Earth is spherical. So in the 1500s, a man named, I'm going to butcher his name, but his name was Ferdinand Magellan, discovered that the Earth was round because he was able to acquire a crew of sailors and, with himself included, traverse the entire globe. He had the plan of, instead of going the normal route, trade route to get to the Asiatic continent, he decided to travel southwest and go around what we understand as the United States and the Americas. He decided to go that way and reach the Asiatic continent by going around a globe. Now, he did end up completing this journey, or rather, his crew did. He unfortunately died. And this proved definitively that the Earth is, in fact, a sphere. Um, just by a geometric observation, you could, let's say you'll be on the ocean and you're traveling towards a ship. That ship, you will not be able to see the bottom of the other ship, the other vessel, if it is far enough away across the horizon. That is because relatively you're traveling across a sphere. So you might be able to see the very tip of its sail, but you will not be able to see the base of the boat. Same thing if you were traveling on the ocean towards a continent. Let's say you're traveling towards New York from the ocean. You would be able to see the tops of the skyscrapers first, and then as you got closer, you would eventually be able to see the shoreline. But the shoreline would be below the curvature of the Earth, so the closer you get, the more of the shoreline you'll see. From a physics standpoint, it just makes no sense gravitationally because gravity pulls objects toward itself, which is why all objects in space are relatively spherical, because the larger an object is, the more likely it is to implode into that spherical shape due to how strongly its gravity is within itself. So that is why the sun is round. That is why black holes are round. That is why planets are round. The Earth is extremely round because it is an extremely large object. So its gravitational pull has forced it into almost a perfect globe-like shape. This is just simple gravitational law. The thing that I see with a lot of people making fun of flat earthers and engaging with them is the fact that you really cannot engage with someone who's maybe experiencing a level of psychosis. Many flat earthers will reference concepts in the Bible, pseudoscience, concepts like astrology, and they often oversimplify their visual biases. And this really goes along with a tendency to be very suspicious of the local and state governments as well as federal and national governments. These are people, at the end of the day, many of these individuals often they're experiencing spiritual psychosis as well. They believe that they have a sense of knowledge that no one else has, which is very common. And if you are to provoke these people, or if you are to engage in any kind of argument with them, it will do the opposite of actually convincing them. It will actually solidify their belief systems. Because again, an individual experiencing paranoia and maybe even personality issues is going to further trench themselves into that belief system if you are to challenge them. Because it confirms that they're the person who has that internal knowing. So in effect, I hope this speech that I've given you today has helped you gain some knowledge of how truly amazing, I mean, the anomaly of our Earth is. And I think that's why a lot of us really, we feel a desire to believe in the flat Earth, because it helps us assign some specialness or some concept that we are set apart in the universe, especially if we are a creationist in our theories of religion and life. But really, I would rather argue that a round Earth is much more significant and much more special, because the odds of us being perfectly placed just far enough away from the sun so that we don't burn up, and not far enough away so that we don't freeze to death, and the likelihood that we would have the gas and the air quality as well as water and the ability to thrive on a planet like we do is extremely rare, and I would say arguably statistically impossible. And so I think we're really quite special. We may be small and we may look like all the other planets, but we are truly very special. We may seem small and insignificant in the grand scheme of things, but we truly, existing in this space is something grand. Thank you.